Beef stew on a nice fall day with some homemade applesauce and some bread. That's what we're having. I hope you like it and you can share this recipe with your family. So I always use steaks and I just buy them on sale and then I throw them in my freezer until I'm ready to use them, because I feel like the stew meat that you buy from the store that's already like pre-cut up to be stew meat, I feel like that's junk meat that they're trying to sell it, and it's always so full of so much fat and so much gristle, and no, I can't do that. So I just buy steaks when they're on sale and throw them in my freezer. So before you put your stew meat into your crock pot, you're going to want to sear it first. So in a oiled skillet, I just used avocado oil. Just go ahead for probably 2 minutes on high heat. Just brown that meat on all the edges that you are able to. You don't have to turn every single piece, but yeah, just sear it. And the purpose of searing it is it draws the moisture out of that meat. So the meat is a better flavor and it's more tender in the end. So now that your meat is seared, we're ready to transfer that into the crock pot. And now we're ready to add the liquid, which is 2 cups of beef broth. And we're going to add in our vegetables and our seasonings next. I 100% agree that there are many different ways to make beef stew. This is just what works best for me. Over the years, I've used onion soup mix and beefy onion soup mix, but I always fall back to the beef stew seasoning. There's just something about that we like best at our house. So we're going to put that seasoning in there, mix it up, and add 1 pound of baby carrots. And then I'm going to wash, peel, and dice up 6 Idaho potatoes and 1 yellow onion. So I briefly touched on the topic of hard potatoes versus soft potatoes in another video. So for this beef stew in your crock pot, you're going to want to use a hard potato, which is like an Idaho potato. You're going to set yourself up for failure if you use a soft potato, because you're going to end up making mashed potatoes. So this is optional, but we just love garlic at our house, and I added a huge heaping tablespoon of minced garlic. So we're just going to mix this all up and put the top on, and it took 4.5 hours on high for all of these vegetables to become tender and cook as it should have. And here we are 4.5 hours later. This looks amazing. So now we're at the point that we need to thicken up that liquid. So I'm going to remove some of the liquid and put it into a bowl or a I use a measuring cup. You can use a bowl. And we're going to add a little bit of cornstarch to it. And so mix up your cornstarch in your liquid. And then we're going to dump it back into your crock pot. Give it a mix, put the lid on, give it a chance, give the cornstarch a chance to do its job to thicken up the liquid. And if you're happy with it, you're good to go. Chow's on. If you're not, go ahead and repeat that process of taking some liquid out and adding cornstarch to it. I want to stress that you need to add just a little cornstarch at a time, because if you add too much, you're going to end up with paste. And I've done that. So learn from my mistakes. Just add a little at a time. You can always add more, but you can't take it out. So this beef stew was so delicious. We had no leftovers. There's only 3 of us eating on this, and we had no leftovers. It was so good. As you can see, I also had to go back in, get a little more liquid out, add more cornstarch to thicken it up to our liking. So there is no exact measurement for this. It is purely add a little and wait and see if it thickens up. If it doesn't, add a little more. To those of you who stuck with me to the end and are already subscribed, thank you so much. And if you stuck with me to the end and you're not subscribed, please consider like, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate that so much. I am so grateful for every single one of you. Thanks. Have a great weekend.